Hello, kia ora, g'day, I'm Philip Duncan from Weather Watch TV on YouTube with your Australia-only forecast through until Sunday. And we've got plenty of downpours on the way, especially around parts of New South Wales, Victoria, and the southern part of Western Australia. So let's get into the forecast. This is how we look later on this afternoon, Monday afternoon, and going in towards evening as far as air pressure and winds are concerned. The brighter shading around Tasmania and out over Lord Howe Island, over the Tasman, that's all high pressure. The darker shading colour over a large portion of Australia, but especially the north and central areas, that is lower air pressure, and so that means more instability, a higher chance of showers. And all of this is going to merge together over the coming days to create some decent downpours around New South Wales, also around Victoria, and some parts of Western Australia and potentially South Australia as well. So we'll try and break it down and make sense of it to you. So let's kick off with Tuesday afternoon and how the rain is setting up. So we've got this low pressure zone out over the Tasman Sea. Doesn't really bring a huge amount of rain to places like Lord Howe Island, but further inland into Australia, you actually start to get that northerly wind feeding down here. And so that's going to create some downpours right over the top of Bathurst, which could have done with that yesterday if you ask me. Anyway, some of those downpours come into Queensland, not a huge amount, mostly coastal showers all the way along the eastern coastline, although not so much around Brisbane. But as you go further down into New South Wales, those downpours are a little bit hit and miss, but they are around. Got a couple also around Adelaide and just to the east, and a few lighter showers around the rest of South Australia, the top of Northern Territory, and the southwestern coastline of Western Australia, and mild northerly winds over Tasmania for you. Sorry, I've got the rain map over the top, but there's not much happening there. As we look at Wednesday, more of those heavy downpours through inland parts of New South Wales. So it's been a while since we've seen downpours like this in a 24-hour period. You could be talking about 40 or 50 millimetres even in some spots in just a day. So that could bring some decent relief. Remember the pale blue around it, that shows 24 hours of rainfall, not very much, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 millimetres, that type of thing. So you get a few showers around the New South Wales-Queensland border, a couple of isolated coastal showers for Queensland and Northern Territory. Otherwise, many places are actually dry outside of New South Wales. A couple of showers also forming around South Australia, won't be a huge amount, and a few showers around the southern part of Western Australia, because you've got a small area of low pressure that is forming there, and it's going to get larger over the next couple of days. You'll notice that on Thursday as it comes in around Port Lincoln and around parts of South Australia. That low gets a little bit more energized as it comes out over the sea. The sea helps fuel these systems, so that encourages more showers around South Australia, central parts of Australia, and moving in now to New South Wales and Victoria and the eastern side of South Australia. Not necessarily great big totals in there, but you've got that wet weather, just like you've got it around Brisbane and just south of Brisbane down towards about Grafton and New South Wales, connected to that low pressure zone out over the Tasman Sea. But the heaviest rain, coastal parts of Western Australia in the south there. You've got some good totals. Could be 30, maybe even 40 millimetres of rain falling for you on Thursday or Wednesday night going into Thursday. So there's some good news for you. And that just all tracks eastwards as we get towards the end of the week. That low deepens further, strengthens further off the west coast of Tasmania on Friday. That means you've got a chance of some heavy downpours coming in across eastern parts of South Australia, spilling over into Victoria, and then obviously the hills and mountains help to block those rain clouds up. So you get rain falling around the ACT and northwards as well into New South Wales on that western side of the hills and ranges. Won't be so much in the east. You've got a windy nor'wester blowing around places like Sydney. So that's going to help maybe lift your temperatures up a little bit, but it will be quite cloudy. That low pressure zone covers much of the southeast. And there's a line of showers that basically tracks from central Australia all the way back up towards Darwin. Won't be a lot of rain in there, but you'll just feel that heat and that humidity kind of dropping further down into the top half of the nation. Although not quite so humid on coastal parts of Queensland, not for now, because your airflow is kind of coming south of New Caledonia. It's not exactly overly tropical. So going into the weekend, that low moves over Tasmania or next to it, and then it drops down into the Southern Ocean, the South Tasman Sea area, drives in a bit of rain over towards Lord Howe Island. Not much for Norfolk. You do have a few showers around Norfolk Island with an easterly there. There's a big storm out south of Tonga, but that's well away from land. And we've got more rain on the west coast of Tasmania, and more of those downpours are forming through inland parts of New South Wales. There'll be a bit more hit and miss by the time we go into Saturday, and of course those showers all the way from about Brisbane and the Sunshine Coast all the way back up towards Darwin in a sort of a line that you can see there. But a large portion of Western Australia, you can tell because I'm not talking a lot about you, not a lot happening. We've got the burst of rain obviously in the south for this week, but in the weekend things dry out quite a bit. And by Sunday, really not a lot going on over a big portion of Western Australia, just a few showers at the very top and the very bottom. We do see more showers around the Northern Territory. They expand on Sunday, but again, not necessarily the heaviest of downpours that are forming, but they're most likely towards the end of the day. And more showers around coastal parts of Queensland, but New South Wales, Victoria, basically Tasmania, South Australia, you're all drying out quite a bit as we go through into Sunday. And the big picture shows here that there's not a lot actually happening around the outer edges of Australia either. The storms south of Australia are a lot further south. As I mentioned, the storm near New Zealand, south of Tonga, likely to remain offshore. Even New Zealand doesn't look like it's going to get that. And up in the tropics, we've seen a bit of low pressure around parts of Papua New Guinea and Indonesia. It's still kind of stuck there. We're not seeing any big storms to the north at the moment. So for now, it is still, I think, quite dry for the top half of Australia. So just lastly, recapping the rainfall, that's through till Sunday. We don't normally show a rainfall map on a Monday, but thought I would today because of these downpours. So you can see here in the southern part of Western Australia, those rainfall totals take you up to 40 or 50 millimetres, and around parts of New South Wales, you could be seeing 60, maybe 70 millimetres in some areas, quite a large part of Western Australia. Of New South Wales, getting those downpours as we go through the week, and obviously spilling over into some parts of eastern South Australia, right across a large part of Victoria, although maybe not so much into the east, in the coastal east anyway, and also getting those downpours around Tasmania. So I hope that that is bringing you the news that you want. If not, let me know in the YouTube comments. Some people don't want the rain at this time of the year, others do. Let me know and tell me what you do for a living too. That's always quite helpful. Thanks for joining us. That is all from me for today. I'll be back again on Thursday with our closer look at Australia's 7-day rainfall. We'll see you then.